Hello, universe. This is our tour with another update, episode 13 of my first quest to reach 90 on my weekly readiness score. Um, Before diving in, I just want to talk a little bit about life. I'm pretty beat. My eyes tell stories. As you can see back there, I have a suitcase because I'm packing. I'm literally leaving right after making this taping, which is quite wild, but also really exciting. Um, oh man, it's been a whirlwind. But first I'll do my regular updates, and then I'll talk a little bit about what's been going on. So first of all, in terms of my weekly readiness score, last time I talked, I had a really great consistent 3 weeks of 87, 88, and 88. Um, but unfortunately, that's dropped in this past 10 days. A lot of that is due to the fact that it was my birthday and I let myself indulge in some pizzas, which we'll talk about later. And so the iron price was very real. But in terms of milestones, I'm really continuing to do incredible work in terms of my gut, in terms of reading Eckhart Tolle and working with kinesthesia on my self discovery threshold program. Um, the most transformational thing was learning about this construct, the pain body, and how it's heavy and kind of prevents you from your conscious presence. And also continuing to learn about presence and transcending the ego and really thinking about who you are as a soul, as a deeper presence, than as someone who is driven by egos and all the exterior traumas. I had this incredible epiphany, which I will hopefully talk about later, which is what I call my star theory. Because I went outside and I was just looking at the stars and I felt so at peace and so calm and so serene. And I remember in the book that I'm reading that Annette bought me, A New Earth, Tolle was talking about how people become so at peace with oceans and stars because it connects to their inner depth, which is their soul and their energy. And I had this incredible epiphany where I was like, well, what is the meaning of life? Why are we out here? And it became so clear to me that it's just to be present and shine our brightest, just like the stars outside. And it just kind of felt so right to me. And I'm like, well, yes. And here on earth, we've allowed our egos and our minds to run rampant. But when you take a step back, being present and just shining your brightest just feels so good to me. So we'll see if this goes anywhere, but it works for me. Um, I mentioned it was my birthday. Oh shoot, I didn't do updates. Let me do it in real time actually. It was my birthday, and I ate pizza, and I went to the Palm Springs Air Museum. We're doing live workout here. Um, and so, oh my God, I love pizza so much. It's so disappointing not to be able to eat pizza. And I really wanted to actually fly a plane, but it was hard to organize. It was a cold day. Going to the Air Museum was quite nice. Um, so then, in terms of my tracker, you could see the dip in my readiness score. The days I had pizza, the immediate next day was a pretty big drop in terms of my readiness score, and so that tells a story. Um, but yeah, I've really struggled to maintain my food diary, my food tracker, and that's kind of like the biggest bummer, where I continue to allow my mind to run rampant when really I need to just be focused on my gut, and that's going to be at the epicenter of my focus for the next couple of weeks. I also have not been going to the gym nearly as much this past 10 days. It's actually pretty sad when I look at it in this aggregated consolidated view. But I've been able to maintain my Graceline EQ cleanse, continuing to do my work with Ben with kinesthesia, and making progress with Felina in terms of being more grounded, but definitely not journaling nearly as much. So it's kind of funny how you can see that I've just kind of not been nearly as able to be consistent, and a lot of that has to do with work that I'm doing in terms of finishing stuff with Drift and with Katie, which has been really tough as we're getting into the final agreement phase. Um, so I do want to take a minute and just do some real talk because, when you're taping these things, you're kind of you're peacocking, right? You're like, or at least I'm like, well, all these things happen. I've been doing a great job, but there have been some dark moments lately, uh, and I want to be able to honor and commemorize it because one day I hope to not have these nearly as much. But man, just like the financial hole that I'm in, that I'm sinking, the depression about what's happened in my life and how honestly disappointed I am with where I am. Like, I'm excited to have done so many things, the Stanford, USC's, UCLA, being with Katie, doing Drift, doing Blizzard, doing Riot. But when I think about the outcomes of all of that, it's a very heavy load to carry. And that's, I think, why I'm so dedicated to presence, because when I think about the past, it kind of breaks me. um, and I think my stomach has just continuously been telling me that, something's not right. And for the longest time, I would get mad at it or let my mind run rampant. And it's just been overwhelming, just, not knowing where I live, where I work, how I'm going to fund myself, and having, my ex just show so little gratitude for the support that I've been giving her. Um, but I was able to spend a nice day with my mom's friend Kim, my friend now, and his horse Bella. I believe that's Bella, who gives kisses, which was beautiful. And I really am excited to leave the year of the snake and try to be free in the year of the horse. um, and speaking of being free, I am literally tonight driving to a hotel in LA, so tomorrow morning I can head out to New York and then Warsaw. So I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to be really beautiful to be able to go back and visit family. Again, I was hoping to be in a better state of mind and health and gut and everything. I just had this vision of coming back to Poland and, being good and not having my family worry about me and not having myself worry about me. But, I think accepting where you are and being grateful for where you are and not for where you want to be is the lesson that I'm trying to learn. The universe is teaching me, and yeah, I'm very burnt out. I'm in the final stages, or not the final. I'm in the stages of writing out the contract with my ex, and it just feels like an impossible burden to carry with so little gratitude. But I must find the strength to find the joy of every moment and hopefully feel a lot better in a couple of months. But yeah, I think I have made incredible progress. I'm consistent. I'm tracking my progress, but I'm also struggling at times. And I want it to be real so that I remember this. And one day when I look back at it, when I'm in such a better place, I will remember that, one of my favorite books, Wait and Hope, or actually that's one of my favorite books. Another favorite book talks about you must know real pain to know true joy and love. And let me be very honest, I am very familiar with true pain right now. That's a great way to close. All right, until next time. Thank you.